So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about the trick world real quick, right? And the reason why I'm kind of giving this information is because I want people to understand that there's a lot of bad information on the internet that is going to get a lot of people caught up. You may remember, you may not remember, years ago, probably 2 to 3 years ago now, there was a young man out here in the city of Atlanta who went to different massage parlors, and he was killing people at the massage parlors. And he had a big issue with going to massage parlors and soliciting sex from women at massage parlors. And so what I want you to understand is that we live in a trick world. Why do I call it a trick world? Because the world has programmed you to be a trick. It's programmed you that way. It's made you think that the way in which I'm going to be acceptable is to become a trick. And then now your goal is to going to try to be the biggest trick you can be, to be the best trick you can be, because people are evaluating you based on your ability to trick. Now, what do we mean by trick? You spending money to receive romantic affection, right? Attention or sex, right? That's what I mean by trick. And then when the money spent is not sufficient, the romantic affection, the attention, and the sex is cut off, right? And then in the relationship space, they'll call that protecting boundaries. So they're teaching people now to where your boundary needs to be, if the person don't spend a certain amount of money on you, you don't deal with them no more. And that's how you call protecting your boundaries, because your boundary is how much money the person gonna spend on you. Now, here's what I want to say as a disclaimer, because people gonna take what I say the wrong way, but it's whatever. I don't mean that if you looking out for somebody, that make you a trick. If you take a girl out to eat, that make you a trick. If you help somebody out, that make you a trick. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when you're spending money to receive romantic affection, romantic attention, and or sex, you're a trick. Because it's not about you. See, what you and this other person have, it's not about you. It's about the money that's being spent. Because when you stop spending the money, everything gets cut off. And your value to them is only based on the money that you're spending. Right? You don't have a value as a person. You only have a value based on the money that they're giving to you to spend. So that's what I want you to understand. This is what I mean by this idea of a trick. And it's a trick world because we program literally millions of people to engage in this behavior. It's a byproduct of our consumer economy. It's a byproduct of the way this particular world has been built. So everybody is participating in this unless you decide not to participate in it. Okay, let's keep going. Right? And I'm missing that article. So here's who's in the trick world. Right? Here's all the players in the trick world. Fake player tricks. Right? So what I mean is that you got the guys that, I used to be a player back in the day, yada, 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 yada. Now you was a trick. You was a trick. Okay? You was a trick, homie. But you selling the, I used to be a player and I changed my life. And no, you was a trick. Still a trick. Now you just married. Right? You got the boyfriend tricks. The dude that got a girlfriend and he got to keep tricking to keep the girlfriend. And the moment his tricking fall off, he don't have a girlfriend no more. You got the girlfriend tricks. You got the girls that got a girlfriend and they got to keep tricking to keep the dude. And if not, the dude going to disappear because they a trick. You got the sex tourism tricks. That's real big on YouTube. The dudes that's going overseas that have sex with foreign women. They tricks, right? They trick because we in the trick world, there is no shame or conviction around what they're doing. People applauded them for being tricks. Dudes got whole YouTube channels talking about how they go to the DR and trick off. Right? Trying to teach the next man how to do it. You got the female teacher tricks. That's real big now. These chicks go into education and they get with these young boys and they tricking off on these little teenage boys. These chicks is 35, 40 years old. You got the sugar mama tricks. These older tricks like Donna Ross' daughter. She a sugar mama trick. Trying to get on there, act like she doing something. Use a sugar mama trick. It is what it is. But you ain't got to get on here and act like you're doing something. Use a sugar mama trick. See, people that really know the game can see straight through this stuff. You got the husband tricks. You got dudes that's married, and if they don't trick on their wife, she ain't gonna like them no more. she'll stop having sex with him. So they marry and they got to keep tricking. You got the wife tricks. They marry and they got to keep tricking on their husband. Else the husband won't do nothing for them. Right? This stuff go on every day. You got the boss tricks. We're going to go into that. That's the dudes that got a little bit of money. They're like 6 figures or greater. Like Kevin Samuels was trying to be the boss trick. Got you a little bit of money in your pocket, and now you want to trick off. So Kevin Samuels was the archetype boss tricks. Right? Ex-player tricks. That's the same thing as the fake player tricks. Right? Wannabe players, fake players. Being a player ain't got nothing to do with women. If you really know what being a player means. Got nothing to do with no women. You could be a player and have one girl. You could be a player and don't be in no relationship with a chick at the time. That don't take nothing away from your player card if you really know what being a player is. Right? It's the internet and media that got people thinking being a player got something to do with a woman. If you not a player, a woman don't make you a player. And if you are a player, the fact that you don't have a woman don't take away your player card. It got nothing to do with no woman. Right? Sugar daddy tricks. Okay? A lot of that going on. Right? The 2 dudes down in Miami, the 2 tricks in Miami. Right? Sugar daddy tricks. Right? You got lesbian tricks. You got chicks that's lesbians. And if they ain't tricking off on the woman they with, they won't have no woman. It's real life out here. You got gay tricks. I used to work with a dude like when I was working in healthcare. Right? He had an old white dude tricking off on him. Gave him a car and everything. You got gay tricks. Right? Real life out here. I deal with real life. I don't do the internet like that. I'm just on the internet. You got run-of-the-mill tricks. Just the average 9-to-5 working dude, right? That trick off. Married, got kids, go to a certain part of the city and trick off. You got elite tricks, right? High level. At the highest level of the game, dude got a court case right now, was an elite trick. We're going to talk about that. So this is the trick world. All different kind of tricks, right? So it's a lane for everybody to be in. And whatever kind of tricking style you got, it's a lane for you out here. Okay, we're going to keep going. So not Kim Kardashian. Was it Rob Kardashian and Black China? Okay, he was a trick, right? She knew he was a trick. She took advantage of the situation. He was a trick, though, right? Everything she had, he paid for. As if she don't know how to make no money. You know what I'm saying? But he was a trick. So she recognized he a trick. She come out of the sex industry. She recognized Rob is a trick. And I could break on him and get me some money and get a lifestyle. Because really her goal was to get married and be a Kardashian. But the family stopped that. But she realized Rob is a trick. Right? And he'll keep paying for the love and affection and the sex. Right? Because if you notice, he didn't flip out that she stopped. Then he got mad because he's asking, well, I done paid all this money. Why you tripping? Because his attitude is I done invested in you. You hear women use that term a lot? I want a man to invest in me. Don't you be hearing that term a lot? So he invested in her. And then when she cut him off, he got upset and he jumped on the internet and started talking about it like he was crazy. Okay, let's keep going. You got Elliot Spitzer, right? Boss trick. He AG, wasn't he AG? Or state attorney, one of the two. And he out there tricking. He was so deep in it, a chick that he was tricking on, she went to the hospital and he showed up in the hospital. This is a married man with kids. But that's how deep down the rabbit hole he is. See what I'm saying? So this go on all levels, right? Let's keep going. You got Pete Holmes, right? Right? We know him as Puff. Some of y'all ain't gonna know him as Puff because you're too young. We know him as Puff, Puff and Cassie. Right? Elite trick. Elite. Got all the money in the world. Right? Big time trick. Because nobody gonna ask, Cassie was with this man for 10 years. What job she had? What she worked at? Any of them women around Puff, what they worked at? Right? Puff was paying for everything. You know what I'm saying? Because he was tricking. You know what I'm saying? But they gonna leave that out. But he got solicitation of prostitution. He got so the RICO without tricking, it ain't no RICO. If he wasn't involved in tricking, it's the fact that he was taking people across state lines with it. That's how they got him caught up. But Puff was a trick, still a trick. R. Kelly was a trick. See what I'm saying? So these was elite tricks. But women claiming this is the kind of men they want. Somebody that pay for everything. They really want a trick. right? But we live in a trick world, so this is just it's mainstream now, right? To where a woman live with you for 10 years and don't pay no bills. She don't work nowhere. She just live off you, right? And you just expected to just keep coming out of pocket. That's the world we live in now. So until the court case, he was supposed to be aspirational until the court case came out. Now, people that really knew what time it was knew what was up with Puff. But the mainstream, he was supposed to be an aspirational figure, right? Got a BET award, then he get an NAACP award, then he give $1 million to EYL. He was supposed to be a aspirational figure. But behind the scenes, Dalt was a trick, was a cold trick, elite trick, right? Tricking like his hair on fire. You see what I'm saying? So this is why when you really get into this stuff and you really understand what's really going on, a lot of these people, man, they really don't know what they really asking for, right? You don't know what you're asking for when you asking somebody to just put you up and pay all your bills and yada, 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 yada. It's going to be demands put on you unless you got control of the situation. So the thing about a guy like Sean or Puff is that he's a seasoned trick. So he's been tricking so long, he know how to manipulate the situation to get what he want. Because why? He had way more experience than Cassie. It wasn't that he was older. He was a seasoned trick. She was an inexperienced prostitute dealing with a seasoned trick with no game. She got no game by herself. So, of course, he ran circles around her. That's how this works. That's why people have folks. You got an inexperienced young prostitute dealing with a seasoned trick, and you don't have nobody to give her game on how to handle the situation, because the first thing you do is ain't no such thing as no GFE. See, GFE is the reason why she got into the situation that she got in, right? But when you don't have people telling you we don't do GFE, you just catch dates, you end up in a GFC situation, and you got to take what come with that. That's why you don't do GFE. You just catch a date, and you go about your business after the date. But you got a seasoned trick with a young, inexperienced prostitute. So she got game ran on, because by the time she ran into Puff, he was 40. So he was seasoned in his tricking. See? But that's too, so all of this other weird stuff and the relationship, you don't know what you're talking about. Dude was a trick. She was a young prostitute with no game. So it's going to go how it's going to go. See what I'm talking about? So this is what you got to understand when you promoting this stuff to women and making them think this is how you going to get what you want to get out of life. Because you got to ask yourself, I know what kind of woman I'm dealing with when they say, well, the 20 million or the 30 million she got was worth what she went through. I wouldn't want anybody in my family to go through what she went through for $20 million. It's no amount of money I would want anybody in my family to go through to get that kind of money. To me, the 20 million not worth it. But you got to have a level of self-respect coming in the game from the gate, right? Where you let a man put hands on you, and because you don't want to take your butt to work and work a job like everybody else and be financially independent, right? You just keep going with the situation. So I don't believe a lot of this stuff that people are saying, but what I do know about Puff is Puff was a trick and Cassie was a young prostitute. If people going to say, well, Dave, you know, you tripping, you shouldn't be talking like that. What you saw, go read the document. I don't do the gossip stuff. Read court document. Tell me what you see. Old girl from Miami, young prostitute. She was trying to break on Shannon on television because she know y'all don't know what y'all looking at. She on the live stream trying to break on Shannon. She trying to seduce and reduce Shannon on the live stream. Right? But y'all can't see it. Because what does she know about Shannon? He a trick too. And it came out in documentation that Shannon a trick. Because if you want a trick, you never got involved with that woman. See what I'm talking about? So this real life out here, I know a lot of y'all ain't used to it, but what I'm trying to do is get men to understand. If you cannot control your sexual urges, it's going to cause a big problem for you. And if you like Sean Combs and you got money and you got success, this going to superpower you to where you're going to get out of line with stuff and you're going to really end up in a bad situation. Same thing with R. Kelly. Same thing with dude that was running Miramax, Harvey Weinstein. This has happened to me over and over and over and over and over again. right? I don't know what it feels like to be a woman. I know what it is to be a man. If you cannot control your sexual urges with women, it's going to cause you a lot of problems. And a lot of women will show up in your life and they will say, well, I'm going to leverage your sexual urges to get what I want to get out of you, right? And so do you just accept those relationship dynamics where I like this when I want to have sex with her, how much I got to pay to get to it? That's what you're being offered, that type of deal. I like this one when I want to have sex with her, how much I got to pay, how many dates I got to take on, how many how much the price tag of the date got to be so I can have sex. That's the deal you being offered. Just show your value, right? Because we live in the trick world. So squares even try to get people to trick because this is the trick world we live in, right? Squares trying to do GFE and don't have no idea what you're doing, but they asking for a GFE experience and don't realize they asking for GFE. And somebody with game say, Shorty, you doing GFE. Now it's, oh, you broke, you don't have no money yet, but you asking for, do you realize that you asking for a girlfriend experience type situation? That's really what you asking me for? So do you know what come with that? Or are you just out here going by what you saw on the internet? Let's keep going, right? That might be the last screen before we drop the video. Oh yeah, I forgot about Lamar Odom. So Lamar Odom, right, was going through something. He allowed Satan to tempt him and put ideas in his head. He go down to Nevada and jump off in a little, I don't know, I don't want to call it a whorehouse, but like a hostel or whatever you want to call it. And they run the game on him. He almost loses his life up in there, messing with the Anglos. Low-key almost lost his life. And they taking pictures of the man and everything. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's God's grace he came out of there with his life, bro. See what I'm saying? This is what trick can get you. You see what I'm talking about? But you in the trick world, so Lamar allowed himself to believe that tricking and prostitutes gonna be the solution to my problem. And it just really created a bigger problem for him. He could have died up in that place. And then people probably would have threw his body somewhere in that desert and kept pushing. You know what I'm saying? If he would have died in that place, some people probably would have threw his body somewhere in the desert and kept going, right? Because I believe they did something to him for him to have that kind of reaction to the situation. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I would have never been in that type of environment, right? What he was chasing was not a solution to his problem. He was in there for an extended period of time, tricking off. You know what I'm saying? This real life. But because he got the money, he had the ability to get himself in that kind of trouble. If you are a man and you cannot control your sexual urges, it's going to cause you problems. And the more money you get, the more problem it's going to cause you. Shannon would not have never been in that situation if he wouldn't be as successful financially as he currently is now. And he didn't have the fame. He never would have got in that situation. So if you don't realize that I live in the trick world and the world is set up for me to be a trick, and many people who are squares are going to ask me to be a trick to be acceptable to them. And if I engage in that, I'm going to get myself in trouble. Right? And it's going to cause friction. People not going to like it, yada, yada, yada. But I'm trying to save you from getting in trouble down the road. Because then once you get in trouble, everybody going to jump on you and talk about you like a dog. But these were the same people telling you that you need to trick to make yourself acceptable. Right? Because it's groupthink. It's peer pressure. Right? So to make yourself acceptable, you got to be a trick. Or else you're not acceptable. You're not a provider, yada, yada, yada. You ain't about being a provider. They want you to be a trick, though. Right? So let me give you into a video because I know y'all like the internet. Y'all like the TikTok. And I know y'all don't really know how to really know about certain stuff. Like I say, y'all into like the relationship, yada, yada, yada. Y'all let a chick sit in a shared learning space. Chick plus 50 sitting in a shared learning space, selling whole game. Like this what go on the internet. Right? Chick plus 50. This chick is a square. And just came up with this concept and she's selling whole game to squares. And I'm not trying to curse at y'all. I'm just having a real life conversation with you. She in a shared learning space. She got away with it though. She getting money off of it too. Because she's selling it to squares. It ain't a chick that do that for a living will listen to her. Because they know she ain't got no game. right? You end up dead listening to what this woman telling you. If you really try to apply this out here in the street. But I know y'all like the TikTok, y'all like the YouTube, y'all like the internet, y'all like videos. So I'm gonna show y'all some videos of this world because I want you to really understand what really go on in this world and why you don't want to have nothing to do with it. For 99.9% of y'all, the best thing for y'all, man, is to live a square life, to get out of the way, get you a house out there in the suburbs, man, go live your life. You ain't built for nothing else. You don't have the mental capacity to understand anything else. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to you. I'm saying that because I'm trying to save your life. I can tell by talking to some of y'all, you don't realize how severe this stuff is. Lamar Odom could have died up in that house. Some people would have threw his butt in the desert, would have kept on pushing. And it just would have been another day to them. You got to realize what's going on out here and realize what you're not built for. Right? Don't put yourself in a bad position, then you got to try to work your way out of it. Because a lot of y'all not built for certain stuff. And you don't realize that you're going to keep putting your hand on that fire. And one day you're going to get burnt real, real bad. And you ain't going to recover from it. Because like I said, Lamar lucky that God spared his life. He could have died in that room. But them people wouldn't have cared nothing about that man. They don't care. Right? He just another trick. So let me show you this real quick. Then we're going to get to the next part of it.
This man don't want no nails. I'm good. How are you? Yeah. What you want? You got some money for me? You got some money for me? You got some money for me? You got some money for me?
How much?
You got some money for me? 200.
Oh, 20 is too much.
Is 200 too much? Huh? Damn, I need 200. What you doing? How much money you got? How much you got? How much you have?
How much?
How much? How much money you got? Mm-hmm.
Minimum,
Go ahead.
No. Can I? How much? Minimum.
Minimum 200. Don't touch me.
Don't
touch me. Don't touch me.
How can I guess that you are fit for me?
Because you need to guess.
Okay, so you guys showed up in the room, and real quick, it's a disclaimer for language. It's a disclaimer for adult content. There ain't gonna be no porn on here, nothing like that. But I just want you to understand, if you know that you're trying to overcome certain situations, it's not gonna be for you. If you know that you don't want certain stuff in front of you, it's not gonna be for you. I'm just trying to get y'all to understand the real world, not some chick in a shared learning space trying to sell a whole game of squares, and she ain't never really been outside like that before. Let's keep going. And so the caption say, realize you could break a trick for everything he got. Okay, so this is what's going on out here, right? While y'all out here playing games. Let's keep going.
My name is Rayquavius. I'm 26 years old, and I'm addicted to tricking. It probably started off in like 3rd or 4th grade, you feel me? You know, when you're younger, you buying a girl that you like, honey buns, candy, Capri Suns, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But now that we older and elevated, you know what I'm saying, hair, nails, car note, rent, couple trips here and there, just little stuff like that, you feel me? Yeah, that's pretty much how it all got started for me. My family, man, they think I'm gonna go broke, you know what I'm saying, living the way that I live, but as long as they print money, man, I'm gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna spend it. If they think it's an addiction, I think it's a lifestyle. You feel me? I see a bad that I like, she can get whatever she wants, cause she gonna know what I want. You feel me? Yeah. I don't see myself slowing down from this lifestyle either. You feel me? Like it's I'm one with the tricking at this point. So yeah, what Babyface Random say? You a bad bitch, get along.
Okay, so he gave his perspective. You know, that's what people out here looking for. They're looking for a cold trick. Dog say he won with the tricking. Let's keep going. Okay, so show they're gonna give you, what do you call it? I don't know, it was a lifestyle content, vlog content, or her out here catching dates. Like I said, this GFE stuff is insane. Right? But that's all y'all know, because y'all ain't never been around people that really do this in real life. But Shorty gonna show you like a little walkthrough of her little situation. So let's go through it.
rest stops and motels. Don't care she 500 pounds, the pussy gon' sell. Long old money shit stale. Just bought a 3-pack of Durex from the shell. Told him put the change for 100 on 12. Tell she fucking broke, niggas look at her nails. Just got 6,800 from the bitch Gail. I bought her lunch, Caesar salad, lemon kale. Trick cashed after she paid me on Zelle. 3-carat stuff I got from Zales. She wants the tennis bracelet in the chain. I said for sure, just go and do your thing. You niggas kids, go play the game. This big sack chasing, I'm about to knock her, she from the back. Whole phone jumping, got her feeling special. She don't know her ass, hit $60 special. Advertise low, put this bitch pressure. Every trick she throw it extra. Advertise low, put this bitch pressure.
She like, I love you, daddy, can you buy that new Chanel? She like, I love you, daddy, putting Ricky on her heel. She like the red bottom, baby, you the bottle girl. Baby wanna fly, nigga, that could buy the world. Can you pour diamonds in them bags and them heels? Can you pour the bad bitch, have it in them bills? If you don't do it, bet another nigga will. If you don't do it, bet another nigga will. If you don't do it, bet another nigga will. If you don't do it, bet another nigga will. If you don't do it, bet another nigga will. Baby, ain't down, look good in high heels. If you turn a bad bitch down, you weird. I like a bad bitch getting money everywhere. A pretty bitch, even when her face bare. Anytime she wanna post, it's all there. Her ex nigga lame, he can't call there. Gon' put it up, baby, by the Louis Bear. I be dancing in that cookie too rare. A broke nigga in my circle, nigga wear. I'm not rolling, throw that bitch in the air. He got his neck, he getting sent up in the air. Look like he gonna toot it up in the air. If he don't do it, but another nigga will.
Right? So it's only crazy to you, man, because you were square. So again, if everything is the internet, TikTok, YouTube, y'all think this is like when Cardi B sat there and talked about how she used to set dudes up to get robbed, people lost their mind. But I thought everybody was from the streets, though. I thought everybody was from the streets. Strippers been setting dudes up forever. So that's what I'm saying is that a lot of y'all, man, this stuff seems so out of the world because y'all don't even know this stuff even go on. Y'all listen to 50 plus women in office and share working spaces trying to teach squares how to be prostitutes in a marriage. Like that's what y'all think this thing is about. That's not what this is about. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That's how I know that y'all not built for nothing because this stuff seems out of the world to y'all. And this stuff going every day. It going every day. You just dealing with a younger generation now to where everything is the internet, TikTok, yada, yada, yada. But this stuff going every day. But again, this is why a lot of y'all need to go get you a 9-to-5, go get married, pay your taxes, right, on time, right? Go do join the little softball tournament, and stay out of the way because you don't understand nothing that deal with this part of the world. You don't get it. It don't make sense to you. That's why you don't need to get involved in it. That's what I keep trying to tell y'all. Right? Because when Cardi B sat there and said that she set dudes up to get robbed, people was outraged. I was like, y'all ain't been on the street before. Because strippers been setting dudes up to get robbed forever. That's the oldest trick in the world. Right? That's the oldest trick in the world. So let's keep going, though.
Never have I ever stole money out somebody's purse. I was supposed to be so-called help.
Bro, you know I did that, though. You know I stole some money.
You like to go to Figueroa Street sometimes.
Man, it's a habit, you know? It's a drug.
You think you're addicted to it?
I could say 50-50 yes, you know, because when I'm bored, I ain't got nothing to do, I'll be out there, you know?
It's hard
and I'm out there hunting.
Hard to stay away?
Yes.
There's some beautiful women down there.
Oh, man, big booty girls, man. You got anything you want, different races and all that.
How often do you go down?
Like 2-3 times a week.
So you're spending most of your paycheck on these girls?
Man, these girls ain't got no limit.
You have any girls that you've gotten attached to?
Oh, yeah, black girls.
You like them?
Black, Puerto Rican,
Mm-hmm.
Asians, what's it called? Argentinas, all different races. It's a lot of,
But are there any particular ones that
that I like?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, black.
How much of your paycheck are you spending on this?
Man, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, because I'm addicted to the casino too. So sometimes I'm waste like 700, 800.
It's a lot.
And drugs, woman, and casino, all that.
The whole thing's a party.
The whole thing is a party, man. All that. Next day, we wake up with no money, all broke, but you have fun. That's that,
Right? So for a lot of these chicks, that's their ideal man, buddy. Right? He addicted to the casino, drugs, and tricking out there on Fig on the West Coast. This their ideal man. He ready to break bread. Right? They love him. So now if he get married, he gonna have the same issue. Right? And a lot of Mexicans, I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but a lot of Mexicans be married and they trick a hole in the ozone layer. Right? That's just their culture. So that's what I'm trying to tell you is that this is what these people, like, this is what this man has been programmed to do. Everything is impulse, 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 how I feel, yada, yada, yada. What make me feel good right now? So that's it, the lifestyle. Right? So this is what I'm trying to tell you is that y'all got to make sure that you don't get caught up in this stuff, because there's a whole world out here for you to get, and there's different levels to it. He got to trick at the level that he on because he probably a 9-to-5 worker. He can't trick at the puff level. Right? But there's a whole level out here to facilitate that. Go ahead and let you go, Rick Dog, because I see you tripping.
Addicted to the casino too, so sometimes I'm waste like 700, 800.
It's a lot.
And drugs, woman, and casino, all that.
The whole thing's a party.
The whole thing is a party, man. All that. Next day, we wake up with no money, all broke, but you have fun. That's that,
Okay, so you're seeing the Mexican at the ATM putting the numbers in for the pen to get money, telling the girl she expensive. Just that's what they like. He cashing out. Let's keep going.
I don't know who need to hear this, but real bitches like niggas who are proud tricks, okay? We don't want no scary ass tricks. Some nigga who don't want to act like a trick but really is a trick. Bitch, you ain't scared to ask for no pussy. So give me them funds if you want these buns. Because what you value, I don't value. You niggas be valuing pussy.
All right. So they looking for a proud trick. So I'm just trying to show you the real side of life, right? Like I say, we got a whole different generation of people right now. These younger folks, they're going to put everything on the internet, right? And so what I want you to realize is that this is the world that we living in. And this is what they're telling and programming people, not just men, but women too, that this is how you show your value in this particular society. You got to constantly keep paying for everything. The woman at the beginning is money. Give me some money. Give me some money. Give me some money. She let it know at the top. If it ain't no money, there ain't no conversation. Right? So that's what I want you to understand is that this is what's actually going on out here. You don't hear people talking about actually building real relationships with real people based on shared interests and shared goals. Is what money can I get out the next person? So you got the run-of-the-mill trick, right? That's just a regular person that's out here tricking. That's buddy that you've seen that they call a Lil Paul Wall. Let's keep going. So majority of tricks are aspirational, right? The majority of tricks aspire to be a bigger trick. So whatever level that they on, right, they desire to do it at a higher level. So the trick always compete with their ego. And so this is how women play them and make them feel like, well, if you're not tricking on a higher level, you're not a certain caliber, yada, yada, yada. That's why they got dude in the car, he cashing shorty out at the ATM. Tricks are aspirational. They want to trick at a higher level. So you see tricks, they see how what they're going to read about what Puff got going on. They're going to try to do the same thing. Why? Because they want to prove they're on that level. Right? So this is why it's so much money in that game, because tricks want to prove, they want to outdo the last trick. Let's keep going. My bad, I hit the wrong button. So if you get into a relationship with a trick, you got to understand that you're in a relationship with a trick. You're not an exception to the rule. If you meet somebody and you're able to use the fact that they're a trick to use them and to get into a relationship with them. So they're going to be your trick, right? They're going to be your trick. Realize that you in a relationship with a trick. So it don't stop because you get married. So the dude we saw in the video that's going to Fig on a regular basis, he get married. He don't stop being a trick because of that. So that's what people got to understand. Well, if you say, hey, I'm going to get this person to trick on me, and then I'm going to get into a relationship with them thinking they just going to trick on me. No, they going to trick because that's what they do. They tricks. Right? So they always looking for the next experience. It's an impulse thing. It's a dopamine hit. Some people like the danger of the situation. They always going to keep searching for it. So, like I said, because I'm a man and I deal with women, women got to be careful if you think, well, I'm going to find a dude, as long as he trick on me, I'm cool. Don't realize y'all get into a relationship, you married to a trick, which means what? He going to keep tricking. He ain't going to stop tricking just because y'all got married. But that's what you said you wanted because you wanted somebody to break bread all the time. So that's what you got. So you never going to be the exception to the rule. Right? So that's what you got to understand. These dudes is fighting the impulse every day. But you don't want somebody that's not a trick because you feel like, well, they not showing me no appreciation. So you got a trick. Now you got to deal with the fact that you got a trick. Let's keep going. Same way you get a trick, the same way you're going to lose them. So if you are a woman and you get a trick with, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make sure he stay at a very, very high attraction level, and I'm going to leverage lust and I'm going to leverage his desire to have sex to get him, that's the same way you're going to lose him because he's a trick. Right? So you see with Puff wasn't dealing with no one woman. He was dealing with multiple women at the same time. One woman ain't going to never be enough for him. R. Kelly wasn't dealing with no one woman. Right? They dealing with multiple, because one woman will never be enough for them. Right? So if you get a trick, the same way you get them, the same way you're going to lose them. Because Puff was dealing with women way before he was dealing with Cassie. For people that actually was tied in to know what time it was. That wasn't the first chick he was dealing with. He was dealing with women way before that. He was dealing with way before Kim Porter. Y'all just know about Kim Porter because the media told y'all about him. That man got a long track record of doing the type of stuff he was doing. Go read Mace's book. Mace put out a book years ago when he left Puff. Read Mace's book, and Mace broke down a lot of stuff that him and Puff was doing. This was way before Cassie ever showed up. Right? Putting people on the trick rules if you desire a relationship is a dangerous game. Again, if you want a person to operate on the trick rules but be in an actual long-term relationship with you, you're playing a very dangerous game because why? You got a trick now. Right? So you got to not deal with the fact that you got a trick. However, this trick world we live in is so commonplace. If you're not a trick, people look at you like you're crazy. They say you don't have no intent romantically if you don't want to engage in tricking. They say you're not interested in me because you don't want to trick on me. Right? Because that's so common. Right? You're not supposed to take into account how much money you actually got in your pocket. You're supposed to disregard your financial health just to show this other person, I like you. That's what people expect out of you. See what I'm saying? So people will say, well, you know what? I'm going to figure out how to get this trick, but you got to be on the trick rules to get with me. And then they get mad when they realize 5-6 years into the relationship that you were tricked. Y'all know that one pastor, he real heavy set, but wear skinny jeans, kept cheating on his wife. He a trick. That's why. I don't know what he doing trying to be somebody pastor. He have these problems because he's a trick. And he don't want to stop being a trick. And he allowed to play pastor with people. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He a heavyset dude, like probably now in his early 50s. Always wearing them real little tight jeans. The reason why he got all them issues, man, because he a trick. He was always a trick. The relationship life coach that was telling grown women how to run their relationship in his 20s, that made millions off of women on YouTube, he was always a trick. He was always a trick. He was an aspirational trick. Once he got enough money, he started doing what? Tricking on higher levels. His wife should have never put him under those type of rules because he was never going to be able to withhold. He was a trick from the gate. So you got a trick telling women what they need to do in a relationship. But he a trick though. right? I was a player back in my 20s. Trick. I can tell by some of the stuff they say they trick. Let me tell you something real life. Where I'm from, I ain't never had a desire to be engaged in no group sex, bro. That ain't never been a desire of mine. That's trickish to me. It's trickish where I come from. I ain't never had a desire to engage in no kind of group sex. That's trickish to me. So I can tell by a lot of stuff, a lot of these dudes say, it's a lot of, these dudes is tricks. They just figured out how to get some money off the internet. They got married. God bless their marriage. I ain't trying to tear their marriage apart. But these dudes is tricks, and they just trying to fight the tricking every day. But this type of stuff they try to say that they think validate them as something in the game. Dog, if you would have been for a while, man, homie, use a trick, homie. Right? Because I ain't never in my life, I ain't never had a desire to engage in no group sex with nobody. That ain't never something that ever turned me on. So you can't tell me, well, that's what men want and men want this. Come on, man, stop. Y'all is tricks, man. Right? But they able to sell to people, I changed my life, yada, yada, yada. That don't sound good to them people on the TV. That don't fool me, homie. So what I'm trying to tell you is that I really want people to really understand, if you don't realize how to control this type of stuff, it's going to be your downfall. While we close out, listening to tricks give you relationship advice to me is crazy work, right? It's at the last slide. That's crazy work. A lot of this going on the internet, right? A lot of this going on in a lot of these people, man, that's giving relationship advice is tricks. The guy that blew up on YouTube, made all the millions off of women on YouTube, we saw once his money got a certain type of way, all the tricking came out of him. Right? All the tricking came. He divorced his wife to trick. But his wife said, and I believe him, he was tricking the whole time they was married because he was a trick from the gate. It was always in him to be a trick. Now, once his money came in, now he can really trick at the level that he wants to. I want people to understand this, and I really want women to understand this. But like I say, this can apply to men that date men. It can apply to women that date women, but I don't know because I'm a man that date women. But I want people to understand this. If somebody is deciding to be in a long-term relationship with you because they cannot trick at the level that they desire, that's going to cause you problems down the road. Listen to what I just told you. If somebody is choosing to be in a long-term relationship with you because they currently cannot trick at the level that they truly desire to, that can cause a problem down the road if they ever get into that position. Because the only reason they chose to be with you in a long-term relationship is because their tricking options ran out. See how that works? So that's why if I was a woman, I would never want no man to be no trick. I don't care. I would never want that. But that's what we program women to want. But if a man only will say, I do because I think all my tricking options don't ran out, you shouldn't want. But again, if I only think a man is valid based on how much you're going to trick on me, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a trick who just chose a trick on you. But it don't mean that if his money don't change, he don't decide to trick on somebody else. Because let me tell you something I learned from, I got a person I know. This is why also I'm against tricking. It take money out of households. So I know somebody the way their father was a trick, he cheated on his wife a lot. And he talked about it upset him growing up the way they didn't have things in their household because their daddy was spending money on other women. See how it worked? So you got a man that's a trick, but he's spending money outside of his home. That's money that need to go to his household. But he's spending money with all these different women. See how that works? So that's why, again, I'm against it. And I tell men, you got to be careful of it because it'll destroy everything you built. It's all throughout the Bible, how being a trick and how being just so caught up in lust will destroy your whole life. It's all in the Bible. And you got to learn as a man how to separate lust and showing affection and attention to a woman. They're not the same thing. You gonna be sexually attracted to women. If you're sexually attracted to women, you're sexually attracted to women. But you got to understand they got to be a line there to where everything that you're doing is not just because you got lust for that woman. Because if everything is you doing just because you got lust for that woman, you'll spin out of control. You'll start doing anything. And it'll never be enough. And so you see with Sean Combs, it always was another level to it because it's never going to be enough because you're dealing with a spirit and they're going to always ask you to do more. So it was never going to be enough, right? The scenario will always get more and more out of turn, right? So that's what I want you to understand. That's why this stuff is so real, and a lot of people don't like it. But I'm telling you, I don't want to see you get caught up in a bad situation, because 99% of y'all, you're not built to do nothing on the street. I don't say I feel bad, but I want more for these young girls like the one we just seen in this video, because she living a very dangerous lifestyle. But this is what she want to do with her life. So if I go in there and tell her to stop, she ain't going to stop, because I said she's going to stop when she want to stop. But this is why I try to work with people and show them other options. I don't just try to give them some little fake relationship content. I try to show them other options, because where I'm from, life is real. I'm from Orlando, Florida. Dude just put it in chat. There's an actual blade in my city. A lot of y'all not even from cities with blades, right? Dr. Chaz from Memphis, they got blades, and Memphis known. It's a known city. Memphis got a blade. Atlanta got a blade. A lot of y'all from cities ain't even no blade in y'all city. Houston got a blade. We know the West Coast got a blade. A lot of y'all from cities ain't even no blade in y'all city. So before the internet, wasn't nothing going on in y'all city. Then the internet popped off. Everybody started working back page. But I'm from a city where we had a blade way before the internet, right? I don't want to see y'all get caught up in none of this stuff, because you're not built for it. So I'm really convicted and really passionate about, let's create more options for people where they don't have to take these type of risks to make money. They can do more with their life. Because you're talking about these careers, there's a very, very short time frame on it. It's a really, really high risk. And yeah, while she making the money, the lady that you saw, the majority of women in those spaces, they're not making no money like that. That's a fact. She's the 1%er, been able to pull 20,000 on a 10-day run. She got look, yada, yada, yada. A lot of women ain't got that look. So they're not going to make that kind of money. It's real life out here. So don't let nobody backdoor you into being a prostitute, thinking that that's the way to do it, and yada, 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 and backdooring you in the GFE, telling you, well, you know, you taking all the risk and yada, 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 but they really trying to backdoor you to a GFE experience, because you're really not built for it. Cassie showed you she wasn't built for it, right? You're not built for this stuff, right? But when you don't want to go out here and do something for yourself, you'll make these kind of concessions. So I hope you got some value from it. Again, last live stream, I said what I needed to say. Take it how you take it. Deal with it how you deal with it. Appreciate some of y'all coming through. Some of y'all ain't seen y'all in about 90, 60 days on the live stream. So appreciate y'all coming through. Man, y'all stay safe. Be easy, man. Talk to you later.